All day long they played, and in the evening they came to the giant to bid him goodbye. And that day, what happened? The children played all the day with the giant, and by the evening they said goodbye to the giant. But where is your little companion? He said. The boy I put onto the tree. The giant loved him the best because he had kissed him. Now, the selfish giant, now, what he asked the little kid, that where is that boy to whom I had helped to climb the tree? Where is that boy? I can't see him. And that giant had started loving the favorite kid. The favorite child of that giant was the same little boy to whom he helped. Why? Because that little boy had kissed the giant. We don't know, answered the children, and he has gone away. बच्चों को नहीं मालूम था कि छोटा बच्चा कौन था, और उन्होंने कहा कि शायद वो चला गया होगा. You must tell him to be sure and come here tomorrow, said the giant. But the children said they did not know where he lived and had never seen him before, and the giant felt very sad. What happened then? The giant said to the other children that whenever if you meet that little boy, you just ask him to come tomorrow and meet me again. Okay, but the children, what they said? They said that they didn't knew who the boy was, and they even didn't knew where he used to live. So, giant became very sad, getting no details about that little boy. So every afternoon when the school was over, the children came and played with the giant. But the little boy whom the giant loved was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his first little friend and often spoke of him. How I would like to see him, he used to say. So what happened every afternoon? The children after school, as soon as they get back from their school, they used to come to the garden and play. Giant also loved seeing them playing, but also he was at the corner, was sad. Why? Because he was unable to find that little child, that little boy again, and he started thinking that when I would be able to see him again. Years went over and the giant grew very old and feeble. अब giant की बहुत एज हो गई थी और वो बहुत बूढ़ा हो गया था और वीक हो गया था. He could not play about anymore. So he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children at their games and admired his garden. Then what happened? Giant धीरे धीरे, he was getting old day by day, weak day by day, and he stopped playing with the children. But instead, what he used to do, used to sit on the armchair, rocking chair पे बैठता था, and he used to watch the children playing and enjoy the beauty of his garden. I have many beautiful flowers, he said, but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all. Now the giant, what he was saying that सबसे सुंदर फ्लावर्स मेरे गार्डन में है, बट जो सब रियल फ्लावर्स है वो है कौन? द चिल्ड्रन हु वर प्लेइंग इन हिज गार्डन. दे वर ऑल द एक्चुअल फ्लावर्स. One winter morning he looked out of his window as he was dressing. He did not hate the winter now, for he knew that it was merely the spring asleep and the flowers were resting. अब क्या ठंड का मौसम आ गया था, ठंड की मॉर्निंग थी. He was getting ready, the giant was getting ready, and this time he knew that winter season अब वो वाला नहीं है. The spring is asleep now, it's the season of winter, so the flowers are also resting, so he was not at all that much worried. Suddenly he rubbed his eyes in wonder, and he looked and looked. It certainly was a marvelous sight. In the farthest corner of the garden was a tree quite covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches were all golden and silver fruit hung down from them, and underneath it stood the little boy he had loved. Even though विंटर सीजन चल रहा था, सब था, स्नो था, ये सीजन है, जैसे ही उसने अपने खिड़की के बाहर देखा, what he noticed that the same corner, वहाँ पे जो पेड़ था, जो पहले जिस पे बर्फ जमी हुई थी बहुत देर तक, बाकी सब जगह तो स्प्रिंग था, बट सिर्फ उस पेड़ पे नहीं थी, आज वहाँ पे उस पेड़ पे what was there? It was blossomed. There were white flowers over there. Okay, सारे white flowers blossom हो रहे थे. The fruits were hanging around. The silver color के fruits hanged around थे वहाँ पे. So he rubbed his eyes and he was not able to believe. What he saw from the far that? He saw that the same little boy was standing under that tree. Downstairs ran the giant in a great joy and out into the garden. He hastened across the grass and came near to the child, and when he came quite close, his face grew red with anger, and he said, "Who had dared to wound you?" We had जो लिखा है ना, it is the old-fashioned way of saying has, and be means you. This is the old English. ठीक है, ओल्ड इंग्लिश में हैट एंड बी यूज किया जाता था. हैट का मतलब होता है हैज एंड बी का मतलब होता है यू. सो हु हैड डेयर्ड टू वुंड यू? फॉर ऑन द palms of the child's hands were the prints of 2 nails, and the prints of 2 nails were on the little feet. Now what happened? जैसे ही उसने नोटिस किया कि यहाँ पे कोई छोटा बच्चा खड़ा है, he came down hurriedly from the castle and he noticed that वो कौन है. मतलब इस बच्चे को उसको बहुत गुस्से में भर गया. पहले तो वो जैसे ही वो क्लोज आया बच्चे के, तो उसको बहुत गुस्से में आया. Why he became red and why he became angry? Because he asked, who had done this to you? किसने तुम्हें चोट पहुंचाई है? ओके, जो बच्चा था उसके हाथ में प्रिंट्स थे, के नेल्स मतलब जो कील रहती है, उसके दोनों हाथों पे कील के निशान थे और उसके पैर पे भी कील के निशान थे. ओके, नाउ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि इस चीज से आपको क्या समझ में आता है. दैट द बॉय हैड द प्रिंट्स ऑफ नेल्स, कील के निशान उसके दोनों हाथ में थे और उसके दोनों पैर पे थे. So this symbolizes that child was the resemblance of Jesus Christ. अगर आपने देखा हो कभी क्रॉस को, जीसस क्राइस्ट के क्रॉस को देखा होगा, जीसस क्राइस्ट वॉज हंग्ड ऑन द क्रॉस. ठीक है, उनको दोनों हाथ पे नेल्स लगा के, कील लगा के उनके हाथों पे क्रॉस पे लटकाया गया था, पैर पे भी उनको कील लगाया था. तो उनके हाथ और पैर में इसलिए प्रिंट्स है, तो यहाँ पे चाइल्ड को भी उनसे सिंबलाइज किया है. Who had dared to wound you? cried the giant. Tell me, that I may take a big sword and slay him. After seeing to this, when giant saw that those marks, those wounds in the child's hands and feet, he was very angry and he asked the name कि किसने तुम्हें इस तरीके से चोट पहुंचाई. Just tell me, I'll take the revenge. I'll take my sword and kill that person who has harmed you. Nay, answered the child, but these are the wounds of love. The child denied, and what he said that no, these are not the wounds, these are the wounds of love. Who art thou? Art, and thou means you. Who are you? Said the giant, and a strange awe fell on him, and he knelt before the little child. उसने पूछा कि तुम कौन हो? Who are you actually? Just tell me. And all of a sudden, a feeling of great respect came into giant's mind, and with very wonder but some little fear, he bent down. वो अपने घुटनों पे बैठ गया. Just in front of the little child. And the child smiled on the giant and said to him, "You let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise." क्यों giant एकदम से उसने जब पूछा कि who are you and all of a sudden he knelt down. Why? Because all of a sudden उसको समझ में आ गया that little boy is not a simple little boy but he was Jesus Christ who has come down to take the giant with him. उसने अब चाइल्ड ने मुस्कुराते हुए जायंट से क्या बोला? दैट now that was a time when you helped me to climb the tree, you helped me to play in the garden, okay, you allowed me to play in your garden, and that is why just because of that good deed which the giant had done, child was now taking the giant into the paradise means heaven. And when the children ran in that afternoon, they found the giant laying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossom. और जब शाम को दोपहर में बच्चे जब खेलने के लिए वहाँ गार्डन में एंटर हुए, what they saw that the giant was dead and he was lying under the same tree जहाँ पे उसने उस बच्चे को पेड़ पे चढ़ाने की हेल्प करी थी, उसी पेड़ के नीचे he was lying dead and he was all covered with white flowers. So this is the story of a selfish child.